How we doing out there, everybody? Good to see so many familiar faces, air quotes, because we've never met person to person, but here we are again for another journey on an online Blackboard course in partnership with Sonoraville High School, where you guys are with GNTC, and happy to be back with you guys again. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mr. Volpe, and I teach Composition and Rhetoric 1101 and Composition and Literature 1102. I have been with Georgia Northwestern Technical College since 2013, and I live here in Jacksonville, Florida, actually St. Augustine, Florida, but got my Jags cap on for that playoff berth. I'm a little south of there, but GNTC was nice enough to keep me on as an online instructor when I left the campus in 2016. So happy to be with you guys. We have our 1102 course. So just a short little introduction about what's different in 1102 versus 1101. 1101 was modes of discourse, so how we write, how we analyze and write about certain rhetorical situations. And ours were a narrative, descriptive, argument persuasion, and MLA research. There is going to be an MLA research component. That's our big paper at the end of the term. But otherwise, we were going to depart in a pretty significant way from how we did things in 1101, or if not how we did things, what we're doing, I should say. So we're not focused so much on reading expository texts and narrative texts and descriptive texts. We're looking at literature, so short stories. In fact, our first unit is short fiction. Short stories will then move on to poetry. Then we'll move on to a novella. Novella meaning a short novel. And ours is going to be The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. And then finally, a drama unit. Our play will be The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, which is a fun comedy that we'll look at the end. We will look at some Shakespeare, his sonnets. We'll have a little Shakespeare sonnet unit kind of in the middle of the course. A variety of poetry, a variety of short stories. And where do you find all of these? It's in our textbook menu option. So when you guys click on textbook, you will find the Introduction to Literature, Leganto resource by Course Hero, and everything that we are going to read can be found and accessed therein. Otherwise, I will provide you guys links. Our novella, The Metamorphosis, is not in the textbook, but I have a link for you guys to access a copy, which is in our syllabus. But that's our main resource that we're going to use, but there are other ones, supplementary resources. You have NetTutor, our library resource for when we do research. You have Purdue OWL to help you with MLA citation. There are other MLA citation spots where you could find helpful information. If you look at essay guidelines and writing about literature, you will find some helpful resources in there as well. In fact, I recommend that you guys look at those things. Essay guidelines, writing about literature, that's going to be kind of our backdrop for everything that we do. We'll be using the skills and methods found in those folders. So let's kind of just cut to it here. Our first thing that we need to do is, just like any online course, we need to do a no-show assignment. And our no-show assignment is a discussion forum. Okay. You can look in your course calendar and you will find that it is due on the 13th by midnight. And that is going to be just kind of an open-ended engagement assignment for you guys to talk to each other and let me know a little bit about what is your favorite novel or short story or poem or play. And if it's not anything like, conventional or classic, like an actual novel or book or poem, maybe you like graphic novels or manga or anime or comic books. Okay. That's fine too. You could talk about that as well. So the no-show discussion board, which is active until Friday, the 13th. Ooh. That is calling on you to do three things. One, tell me about what has been or what is your favorite piece of literature, okay, that you've ever read, okay. What do you like about it, okay, and how might give a little description of it, okay? Tell me a little bit about it, okay? And then how are you going to sell this to someone? Like, you have a favorite book, this other person hasn't read it. How do you convince that person, hey, you should read this book, or you should read this poem, or this comic book, or this play? Give it a try. Here's why. Okay, so three things. What do you enjoy about this piece of literature? Give a brief description of it. And what is your sales pitch to get someone else to read it and enjoy it? Okay, so that's our no show due on the Friday of this week, the 13th. Then on the 15th, our first actual assignment is due. You'll find that the course is structured a little differently than 1101. We don't have like week by week shells, and this time we have unit folders. Okay, so our first unit is our short fiction short story unit. If you click in that, you will find a couple of helpful resources: introduction to fiction video, how to analyze a short story. I recommend that you guys look at that. Our assignment, though, due on the 15th, requires you to read two stories. One is a story by Louisa May Alcott. You might know of her as the novelist who wrote the 19th century classic Little Women. Okay. Perhaps you've seen the recent movie that came out a few years ago. Scarlet Stockings is the short story for the Louisa May Alcott reading, and it's, you know, I don't want to say long, but it's a few chapters, but you could still read it within one sitting. It won't take you too long. The other one, though, is a much shorter short story. It's Kate Chopin's Story of an Hour. Okay, now why these two authors? Well, they're both 19th century American women authors, and they're, tonally there will be some differences. The Louisa May Alcott story is a little more upbeat and maybe fun, okay, romantic, has kind of that nostalgia harkening back to the 19th century, whereas the Kate Chopin story has a little more of a serious, dark tone and mood at times, okay? And it has kind of a little ironic twist ending at the end of the story. So there's some similarities, there's some differences. Your response is going to be like a little compare contrast 3-paragraph response, okay? So the instructions are all there for you in the short fiction unit. Due the Sunday, the 15th. You want to do this in, MLA format, 12-point Times New Roman, double space. In your first paragraph, just identify and discuss both stories' main themes, okay? And when we talk about theme, we're talking about what's the main big universal message, okay? So we have themes of love, themes of regret, themes of joy, themes of sorrow, themes of melancholy, themes of triumph, etc., etc., etc. What's the main theme in Scarlet Stockings? What's the main theme in Story of an Hour? What are these stories trying to get across to us as readers? Okay, that's in the first paragraph. Second paragraph, what are the story's main conflicts? Okay, so we read a story because of the conflict. Without conflict, stories would be a little boring and predictable. Conflict, there's internal conflict. That is man versus self. And when we say man, we don't mean to be, gendered in that way. Man is a stand-in for human, men, women, etc. Okay, so man versus self is the internal conflict. Self-doubt, self-questioning, maybe you're hard on yourself, maybe you're nervous. That's all internal conflict. It's like, oh no, what do I do? That's an internal conflict, you versus you. External conflict, we have man versus man, so two people having a conflict with each other. Man versus society. Society says do one thing, I say no, I'm gonna buck up against what society is telling me. There's man versus nature, okay. The elements, storms, natural processes thwarting the main character's arc. And there's man versus man versus man versus nature, man versus society, and then man versus self. So 3 external conflicts, 1 internal conflict. What are the different conflicts? So or you could look at it this way: what are the 2 conflicts? What's the conflict in Scarlet Stockings? What's like the rub? What are the opposing forces? Okay, and then what is the conflict in Story of an Hour? Okay, and then how are they resolved by the end? A satisfying story should have a resolution to that conflict. Okay, in a story we have, it's called the Freitag Pyramid. We have the beginning, that's the exposition. We have a rising action, that's how the action gets going. That's like the kickoff of the action culminating in a climax, the turning point. Usually the most exciting part of a story, or the turning point, the aha moment, the moment where everything changes. After the climax, we have the falling action, the fallout of the climax, and then we have the resolution, how everything wraps up and resolves itself by the end. So how do things resolve at the end of this story? How are the conflicts resolved? 3rd paragraph, you just get to offer your own take, okay? Do you like the stories? Do you not like them? Do you prefer one over the other? Why? When you are answering this 3-paragraph response, be sure to include at least 1 in-text citation, 1 for Scarlet Stockings, 1 for Story of an Hour. Okay, if you want to know, get a refresher on in-text citation, MLA style, you could go to Essay Guidelines, the folder in Lessons, and there's an attachment there that tells you all about how to do that if you don't remember. So that's it for this week. The response, 3-paragraph response, and there is a rubric, okay, that tells you the expectations. All right. Also the and due Sunday, okay, that, and then there is the no-show due on Friday, okay. Please read the syllabus as well. Tells you what we got going on, classwork, homework, our daily or weekly grind, I should say, reading our stories, giving our responses. We'll have our journals, our blogs, our discussion boards, our individual responses. We'll have 3 literary analysis essays, 1 for short fiction, 1 for poetry, 1 for our novella. Our final MLA research paper will be on our play, our Oscar Wilde play. Okay. So the 3 papers, 20% each, 20, 20, 20, 60. Classwork homework is 15%, 75. Final thing to do, our MLA research paper, 25%. That equals out to 100, okay? You can look at the student guide and the course expectations and the syllabus. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I can't guarantee that, I could wave a magic wand for you. To that end, we want to make sure we are doing our work, turning things in on time, not emailing me things unless there's a serious extenuating circumstance. Things are due when they're due. We're not going to do this whole, hey, I've been checked out for, 4/5 of the time, and here I am all of a sudden, and I want to do all my work. What can I do? Unless you have a serious extenuating circumstance, of which I'll be understanding, naturally, you must turn things in on time. Okay, it just creates chaos and confusion when things are flying at me via email, or you're not active in the course until here I am at the end or midway through. What can I do to make it up? No. Okay, don't put me in that situation. Do your work. You're a young adult. You can do this. Be self-motivated. Be your own cheerleader. Okay, and motivate yourself to truck along. All right, I am going to stop it there. Pleasure to be with you guys again. Happy to work with you. 1102. I hope you'll find is a fun course, if I may say so. And I'd like to have some fun with you guys, learn along the way, and let's get it, all right? Peace, Happy New Year. Till next time, bye-bye.